welcome back to Maniacal Reader. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but I've been really busy in the past couple of weeks. Today I wanted to show you my July and August book haul. These are books that I bought throughout the month of July, and I also had a birthday at the beginning of August, so I bought some books for my birthday as well. I have about 20 books in this haul, so if I need to split up these videos, I will. This video will be my July and August book haul part 1, and part 2 will be following soon. The first book I wanted to show you is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is a well-known new adult romance author, and It Ends With Us is one of her recent releases. I've heard good things about this book, but I don't have any clue as to what it's about. I've heard that it's best to go into this book blind, so that's what I'm going to do. I have heard that this is one of the books that's most personal to Colleen Hoover, but that's all I know about this book. The next book I wanted to show you is Too Late by C. Hoover. This is a book that's also written by Colleen Hoover. She originally wrote this story on her Wattpad, but she wanted to self-publish it into a physical copy. But I've heard this romance is darker than what Colleen Hoover normally writes, so that's why she chose the pen name C. Hoover instead of Colleen Hoover. I like Colleen Hoover as a writer, and I'm interested to see what exactly is darker about this book than her other romances, so I'm looking forward to this book. Next up I have Effortless by S.C. Stevens. This is the second book in the Thoughtless series. This is also a new adult romance series. And I read the Thoughtless series at the end of August. That's why I purchased these books. This is a rock star romance that follows a rock star named Kellen Kyle and his romance with a girl named Kira. And I also purchased Reckless. This is the final book in the original Thoughtless trilogy. Next up, I have Thoughtful. This book isn't part of the original trilogy, but this book is Thoughtless from Kellen's point of view. I really liked Kellen Kyle throughout this series, so I definitely wanted to hear his viewpoints on starting his romance with Kira. I also have the final book in the Thoughtless series, called Untamed. This is a book that takes place after the Thoughtless trilogy, and this book is from Griffin's point of view. Griffin is another side character in the series, and he's part of Kellen's band. The next book I wanted to talk to you about is Because of Lila by Abbi Glines. This is the second book in her Rosemary Beach meets Seabreeze series. This is a new adult romance series. This book follows the romance of Lila Kate, who is the daughter of Grant and Harlow from the Rosemary Beach series, and her romance with a guy named Cruz Carrington. Cruz Carrington is the son of Woods and Della from the Rosemary Beach series. Lila is a quiet and proper girl, but she's sick of living in the same town and doing the same routine things every day. So she's looking for adventure. She just wants to go to a new city and meet new people and try new things. She's always loved Cruz Carrington. Cruz doesn't really feel the same way about her, and it's only when she leaves town that Cruz realizes that he may lose his chance with Lila after all. When Lila goes to this new town, she stops at a bar called Live Bay. And Live Bay happens to be a bar and local hangout for people in Seabreeze. When Lila's in Seabreeze, she comes across this guy named Eli Hardy. I read this book at the end of July and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It was a really good book. If you haven't read Abbi Glines' Rosemary Beach series or her Seabreeze series, I strongly suggest it before you jump into this new series that connects the Rosemary Beach series and the Seabreeze series. You don't necessarily have to, but if you read both of those series before this one, you get a better understanding of who the characters are and who their parents are and who they're connected to. The next book I wanted to talk to you about is Price of a Kiss by Linda Cage. This is another new adult romance book, and it's the first book in a series. This book follows a girl who is looking to have a fresh start at college. Something happened in her past that she wants to forget and escape from. When she gets to this new college, things seem to be going fine until she meets this guy in her dorm room that's a gigolo, and he has a reputation of being a gigolo, and apparently he has a broken past too. The girl isn't sure if she wants to get into a relationship with this guy, considering his reputation. I've heard great things about this series. Jessica over at Peace Love Books really loves this series. She says it's one of those emotional new adult series, and ever since she started talking about it on her channel, that's what encouraged me to want to pick up this series, so hopefully I'll like it as well. Next up, I have Pucked Off by Helena Hunting. This is the first book in a contemporary romance series, and it's a hockey romance series. I don't really know much about it other than that, but I know that I like sport romances, and I've heard great things about Helena Hunting. I have her Clipped Wings duology that I haven't read yet, but it's a priority for me, and I wanted to check out one of her other books. The next book I wanted to talk to you about is Sizzle by Lexi Buchanan. Since I liked the Thoughtless series this month, I decided to pick up another Rockstar romance series, and Sizzle is the first book in that series. This book follows a girl named Thalia who is just finishing her sophomore year at college. She is trying to avoid going home to her stifling parents, who still treat her like she's 10 years old. But when her boyfriend Liam invites her to spend time with him and his family over the summer, and when she's unable to look for her a local job, she jumps at the chance to go with him. But when Liam invites her as a guest to his brother's Jack's wedding, that's when things turn interesting from there. Jack is dealing with pressure from his family because he's been forced to marry a girl named Mia against his will, and he wants to go off on his own when he graduates, specializing in criminal law. So he studies criminal law by day, but at night he's the singer of a local rock band called Deception. When Thalia learns that Jack is actually a rock star by night, that's when things between them start to change, and Thalia finds herself growing more attracted to Jack. It sounds like this book is definitely going to be interesting, and I think it has a similar vibe to Thoughtless. So since I loved the Thoughtless series, I'm pretty sure I'll like this book. The last book I wanted to show you is Where I Belong by J. Daniels. It's the first book in another new adult romance series, and it's a college romance series. It follows this girl named Mia, who is determined to go back home for a summer in Alabama with her best friend. When she goes back home, she's determined to lose her virginity. She mistakenly gives it to this guy named Benjamin Kelly. Benjamin used to fill her with fury. I think Ben is a guy from her past that she has a one-night stand with, but Ben can't seem to get Mia out of his head. So I think this book starts off as a hate-to-love relationship, which I think is really cool. Plus it's a college romance. I haven't read many hate-to-love relationships, so this book should definitely be interesting. Those are all of the books in part 1 of this haul. Comment down below and tell me what books that you've bought recently. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!